today, I'm going to be reflecting on, a story of one of the prophets, peace be upon them, and, what God had asked them to do at this moment of time during their revelation. And, I think it's often important to reflect on the stories of the prophets, peace be upon them all, because they are real. And knowing what some of them went through, I mean, considering and comparing to what we go through nowadays, it's not even comparable in all honesty. Um, Seeing and knowing their trials and tribulations that God had continuously put them through, was never ending, right? And in this case, it's the story of Moses, peace be upon him. And, you know, when God had asked him to go to the Pharaoh and confront him for his mistreatment of the Hebrews and freeing them and abolishing the slavery at the time. And, I'm not going to be reading from the Quran today, but I'm just, kind of going through off of, what is known. And essentially during that time when God had, had that revelation sent to obviously Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, the prophet he was scared. He was fearful. And this is a person who lived under the Pharaoh, right? Who got the benefits of being next in kin in regards to, his education, being, studying in math and astrology in many different areas, the sciences, everything. So he was an astute person, within the community for sure. And again, he was next in kin. Like, I mean, he had led armies to go defeat other tribes and whatnot at the time, the Ethiopians and what. And it wasn't like Moses didn't have what it took in order to do these things. But that doesn't make him, just because he has the ability to do these things, make it that much easier for him. And I say all of that because, many times, we'll continue with the story, but many times when we're going through something, there is that fear mongering that holds us back of actually doing it. And in most cases, we often hear about the flight or fight. And a lot of us, we take the flight. We get a little bit intimidated. We get a little bit scared of what others will perceive or others will think or this, that, and the third about the situation. And those external pressures kind of get and build up. And it was the same with Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, in regards to what he was asked to do, and God, once Moses had revealed to God that, I'm fearful. I don't know what's going to happen to me. And obviously he had his reasons, right? There was a bounty. I mean, essentially he had murdered somebody. And now you're asking to go to see the Pharaoh, knowing that. And on top of that, you talk against the teachings and the doctrines of that community in terms of its religions and values and culture and things of that nature, right? In regards to being or in regards to focusing and believing in one God instead of, what the pagans believed at that moment in time. And again, he had asked for his brother to help him, and God, he said yes. Bring your brother Aaron, but this needs to be fulfilled. There's no getting out of this. Just because you're fearful, understand that, I'm with you throughout this journey. I'm with you as you go to speak to the Pharaoh, and that's all you pretty much need. But yes, go indeed, take your brother Aaron if you need to, but it's not something that just because you're fearful of, we're going to say, you know what? Let's change what it is that I need you to do. Let's change the plan around. Let's change this. I'm not going to, you're scared. I understand. You know what? Let's do something else instead. There was none of that with God, and that's the type of conviction and faith that we need to have, walking against those big fears of ours, whether it's starting that business and putting it out on Front Street, on all your social media, whether it's, talking to X person about whatever the situation is. Understand that if you have true faith and you're working in a righteous manner, all you need to do is seek the wisdom of God, asking for the wisdom, the knowledge, and understanding about how you should target that situation and deal with that situation. But, you also need to know that, again, when things are hard in a situation, if things are hard on your way to accomplishing something, it's for good measure and reason. Being tested is one of the beautiful things of this life, because you're either going to pass or fail. And it's as simple as that, right? There is no A's, B's, or C's. It's either a pass or you're going to fail. And in this case, obviously, Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, he passed because he did what the Lord required of him. But it wasn't to say, again, there wasn't that intimidation. There wasn't that fearfulness. There wasn't anxiety to go do what he was asked to do. But with true faith, with sure faith, and not being unwavering in our thoughts, our mind, and what we're able to accomplish through the Most High, again, he was able to build up the courage and do what was asked of him, which would change generations and change the trajectory of his people and how are they going to live, afterwards, right? Obviously, departing the sea and everything of that nature, right? So I leave that with you guys. Like, again, when times are difficult, when times there's some fear mongering and things of that nature involved, you got to just persevere. Perseverance is going to always be your best friend in regards to situations like that. And again, you got to think nothing worth having is going to be easy. And if it is easy, you got to question, why do you even want that? Why do you want that path of least resistance? They always say low-hanging fruit, and to a degree, yes, I understand what that means, But in the same respects, again, sometimes you do have to go through the turmoil. You do have to go through the mud. You do have to get it out the mud. And, this video is going to end there, but I just want you guys to know that who are dealing with that sense of intimidation, anxiety, fear, all of these things that kind of build up on our way to greater successes. You just got to persevere, and most importantly, ask the Most High for the wisdom. Seek the wisdom through the Most High. Literally ask him. Open your mouth and ask him, and he will govern and he will give unto you. He's the most sufficient. And again, it's not a benefit to him or anything like that. It's more so a benefit to us. Like, we're only benefiting from this. So again, I'm going to leave you guys with that to think about. But, just keep that in the back of your mind as you target and you accomplish different things and you're on the road to accomplishing certain things. That even the prophets, it wasn't easy for them, and they didn't always want to do what was asked of them. But again, just because they didn't want to do it didn't mean they didn't do it. All right, so I'll leave you guys with that. All the best, and I'll see you in the next video. Please like, comment, subscribe to the video, and I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much.